Two amazing books from Dr. Helen Jafo are available for purchase. Joyfully Together and You Too Can Become a Success. Get them on our website at www.mamahelen.com.ng or on Amazon, or you can place a simple call to +234 815 343 1944. Don't miss the opportunity. Get them today.
Now, your host, Mama Helen Orisha Jafo.
Well, this is Mama Helen and you all the way from Warri, Nigeria today. I am extremely excited, I'm elated about what is about to happen today because it promises to be wow. Having a spouse, people you love and loves you back, is one of the most rewarding experiences in life. Hence, it is important to make your married life a top priority, to build a strong marriage and live every moment to the fullness. Marriage brings great joy to many, but it also brings challenges, often profound ones. How a couple manages them often determines whether their relationship collapses or holds firm. According to the United Nations report, divorce rate is on the increase. 50% of first marriages end in divorce. 60% of second marriages end in divorce. And 73% of all third marriages end in divorce. Isn't that sad? But the truth is, no one goes into marriage with the intention of splitting up. Today, on Mama Helen and you, we're going to be dwelling on the topic. Before you say it's over, it's important that you listen and see how we can tackle this topic of the day with some of our guests who are seasoned. And I'm telling you, they are seasoned guests. And of course, at the end of the day, you'll be able to make a better judgment in the hand. You don't want to go anywhere, and don't you touch the dial. Let it be that today will be the day that you'll be waiting for you to be able to have a quick or a good answer to those nagging questions that's been going on in your mind. Back in a moment, Mama Helen and you.
Mama Helen TV show. Mama Helen is here, touching lives, impacting world. It's your time to receive. Oh yeah, Mama Helen TV show. Mama Helen is here, touching lives, impacting world. It's your time to receive.
Now, welcome back, viewers. This is still Mama Helen and you, all the way from Warri, Nigeria today. Are you excited about today? Because I am. The topic of the day is quite wonderful, and it's something that you do not want to miss at all. So what do you want to do now? I think it's the best time for you to begin to call someone. Call your friends, call your family members. Okay, share and share. Just press the share button. Share and share and share until you're tired sharing. Okay? Because you want everyone to participate in today's, show, as it were, so that at the end of the day, we can have a take home. And of course, it will also guide your decision making. Before you say it's over, watch this. It's going to be marvelous. Marriage, also called matrimony or wedlock, is a culturally and often legally recognized union between husband and wife. It establishes rights and obligations between them, as well as between them and their children, and between them and their in-laws as well. Marriage relationships aren't easy though, but far too many couples throw in the towel on their relationship prematurely, only to repeat the same dysfunctional patterns in their next relationship. Preventing long-term connection may require one or both partners to jettison misguided beliefs or dysfunctional habits. The truth is, most couples are capable of thriving and lasting long-term if they are both committed to working on their marriage. To discuss this topic today, before you say it's over, we have no other person foremost, okay? Mrs. Indorenye Etikudo. She is a banker and a relationship coach. It's such a pleasure having you on set with me today, Mrs. Indorenye. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Did I?
You have it. Yeah, you did. Mama, you tried. It's
Did
good
I
to have it.
try?
In fact, it's good
Did
to be here. Tried.
is it in
Thank you.
Indorenye?
Exactly, Idoreyen.
Indorenye. I tried.
Yeah,
Although a little bit there. Head to Kudo, that one
yeah,
I'm sure I got correctly. Okay. Well, it's such
yeah,
a pleasure having you on Mama Helen and you today.
yeah,
Thank you so
yeah. It's
very
such a
much
pleasure.
indeed.
Yeah,
Amen.
thank you so
Amen.
much for having me. Thank
Oh, isn't that awesome? Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Is Dr. Caro here in the house as well? No. Okay. Okay. And then, of course, we have Pastor Tony Pemu. Pastor Tony Pemu is a pastor, as I've already announced. And then, of course, he is also a business consultant. It's such a pleasure having you on set, Pastor Tony.
Always a pleasure to be on your show, Mama. I
Ah.
really am honored to be on your show this afternoon again.
Oh, praise God. I am excited to hear that. Okay, well, so let's get to the topic of today. It's quite exciting. I know our viewers can't even
Yeah.
wait. So let's start by asking this question. What is marriage? What is marriage? Let me start. Ladies first, they say, right? So let me start,
Yeah.
Mrs. Etikudo.
um, Quite, interesting anyway. And there are a lot of people are saying things about marriage. But, you want to talk about it. Marriage is, the legally and the formally recognized two people, okay? Agreed to be together. They've agreed to do a personal relationship. So to me, that is, marriage. And it could also be legally or sanctioned union, between them and the woman, regulated by laws, rules, customs, belief system. But being there, I always back this definition by the Bible, Genesis 2:24, when the Bible says that a man shall leave his father and join to his wife, and they become one flesh. New English translation says they become a new. That is marriage, living and join to the one that you said I'm going to
They
spend the rest
become
of my
one.
life with. Yeah, they become one,
Yes.
and they
Awesome.
start a new family. So that's to me, that's marriage.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, you've done justice to that, but I wouldn't know if Pastor Tony also have something to say regarding that. What is marriage to you, Pastor Pemo?
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, it's always a pleasure to be on. Marriage goes beyond the ceremonies. Marriage goes beyond what quite a lot of young people think it is, the show and all that. It actually is a commitment. It's something God Himself instituted and then backed by the laws of the land. It's a commitment. It's a love relationship between two adults. we need to stress people who have decided to achieve destiny together, and they now make commitments and covenant in the presence of God to say we are going to live together to achieve our God-given destiny together, and anything short of that, I think it's is a love relationship between a male and a female who
I
have
love that word,
decided
male
to
and
achieve
female,
a common
not Adam and Steve.
destiny together.
Awesome.
So that's what I think marriage should be all about.
Okay then. Okay, so if marriage is about two people coming together and becoming one, it's a commitment by law, by what have you, that we've heard from the two wonderful counselors for today. Then the question should then be, what's the purpose of marriage? What's the purpose of marriage? Mrs. Letikudo, you can actually jump in right there.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have different purposes, of getting married. Families will say, I want my child to marry this child. If you marry, we are going to solidify our businesses together. You know, my from this land, and I want my child to marry land so that we can still end that relationship. Because of my business or political aspirations, I want my child. Those are purposes that people way. But I think the main purpose of marriage, is, companionship.
Companionship. I love
Is
that.
com- somebody you can talk to, somebody you rely on, somebody you can have confidence, somebody you can trust with your life, as in trust him or her, somebody you can actually air out, something, stay alone. Even that when God created Adam, he said, you can't stay alone. It's not good for a man to be alone. I'll, give you a help meet for you. Not a help meet for you. It's companionship. Because Adam searched every animals. He couldn't find it he can actually relate with or talk to or, bear his mind with. He just saw that and said, I'm going to give you a companion. Somebody that can speak like you. Somebody that can walk like you. Somebody that you can feel him or her. So it's basically companionship. And also for intimacy and pleasure. For intimacy and pleasure. Things about purpose of marriage. Coming together, coming to fulfill a God-given purpose of life. Once you marry, that marriage, you can have intimacy, you can have pleasure. So to me, that's one of the purpose too that I can mention that is worth in marriage.
Awesome. Okay. Well, companionship, and then, of course, the ability to feel one another, and of course, to be present in the marriage itself. Pastor Tony, would you want to shed a little bit of light regarding this?
Yeah, I quite agree with Mrs. Etokudo, and just to add a few more, it's marriage for me is to fulfill destiny, and at the end of the day, we make heaven at last. We yes, companion, yes, comfort, sexual pleasure, but ultimately, I think that for marriage, the purpose for marriage is to fulfill destiny and also make heaven finally, where when you are faced with your God, you'll be glad that you had the walk, your walk to heaven, your fulfillment of destiny was made easy because of the companion that you have, because of the woman or your spouse, so to say, that you had. It made your journey to destiny and heaven
A lot
quite
easier.
easy.
That's fantastic. Companionship, word of you, fulfilling purpose through the desire to fulfill destiny, and then of course to end up in heaven at the end of the day. You know, to be honest with you, I think you have both done justice to the purpose of marriage. And if we're looking at marriage, as it were, outside of procreation, because in Africa, you know, it is believed that the number one reason for marriage is to procreate, to have children.
Yeah.
You know, but with the way you've both come across, it shows that marriage definitely goes beyond procreation, but at least to encourage oneness, to work towards destiny fulfillment, to encourage commitment and companionship between the two parties involved. Okay, what makes a healthy relationship, or should I say marriage?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of, in fact, I want to say something. Success in marriage does not come merely through finding the right, but also being the right partner. Because you want to say, I'm looking for Mr. Right, I'm looking for Mrs. Right to marry, I'm looking for someone that can do this for me. Have you asked yourself, first of all, am I even the Mr. Right or
Am I
Mrs. Right?
Mr. Right or Mrs. Right?
Yeah,
That's a
am I
good
the
one. Miss
one? Am
or
I
Miss
Mrs.
Right?
Right?
Good.
Miss Right, or,
Miss Right, yes.
because it's the right or Miss Right, first of all, ask yourself the question if you can even cope with the Miss or Miss Right. Okay, so one of the things that make marriage a healthy marriage, to me, one of the utmost thing is communication. Communication before and in the
Communication.
marriage. Yeah, before and in the marriage. Now, before you even enter into the marriage or the relationship itself, what are you about? What are you talking about? Are you talking aspirations? Are you talking your dream? Are you talking about your business, your career, your? Are you talking about the things that are around you? Are you just doing love, love, I love you, I love you, I cannot do without you, my hand cannot relax without you, and all of that? Yeah, those are necessary, but the main thing that you should talk about are the future. Or talking about what are we? How many children do we have? How can we bring up the children? You talk
Our
about, I
children.
mean,
In
everything,
the way of the Lord.
everything. Yeah, well, the Lord. So you communicate with your spouse. So one of the main things about healthy relationship marriage is communication. Talk to your spouse at any time. Talk to your any instant. If you feel that there's something not good, that is the best sign of something that you feel. So you communicate with your spouse at any given time. So another thing I want to talk about
Communication.
is,
I believe strongly in
yeah,
that as well.
communication. That is one of the most important things we should do in marriage, to talk. Most marriages, as you said, most marriages, they just, wake up and say they want to marry without no communication, and they just enter into marriage. And when you say, oh God, things have gone wrong. So communication is one of the most important things to a healthy relationship. And most people can say maybe probably humility. I mean, when I say humility, both parties need to themselves. Yeah. The ability to admit that you are not perfect. So both parties should be humble themselves and admit that fact that, okay, look, I'm not perfect. So I can humble myself and tell you what I need to tell you. Okay, I am wrong. Forgive me. That act of forgiveness, that act of being able to forgive one another helps in a healthy relationship.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. Those are powerful nuggets right there. Communication, your ability to forgive, those are vital points that you have mentioned. And I also know that Pastor Peno will have something to add to what she has already said. What makes a healthy relationship or marriage, as it were?
Yeah, Mrs. Tedokubo has actually dealt with some of the vital ingredients. There are also some that I need to outline here. Number one of that is trust. You must build
Yeah.
trust. You must build trust to the level that your spouse doesn't need to think when you say a thing. He doesn't have any reason to doubt it, you know. And then you also must, you also must be very honest in your communication.
Be
You know,
sincere.
your spouse must have been very sincere, good, when you are handling project. You also must consider sitting down to make plans for virtually everything and go with the plan.
We go with the
Stick
plan.
to it.
Don't
You
change the
know, you
goalpost
must go with the
in the
plan.
middle of the
When it
journey.
comes to financial management in the family, you have a plan, you go with the plan.
That's right.
If it has to do with relationship with family members, you have to have a plan. You have something you have agreed upon and stick with it. Now, Mr. Dokudo has talked about forgiveness. That is a very, very vital part. Now, where we have issues is what the definition of forgiveness really is. For me, forgiveness is to relate as though the event never took place.
Yeah,
Is to
that's
relate
true.
as
That's
though
true.
there won't
It
be,
never
yes,
happened.
it
Yeah,
never
It
happened.
never happened.
You know,
yeah. Don't hold
it
back.
never happened. And yeah, there won't be a reference to it. There won't, and there won't be a reference to anything about
Whatever
it.
might
You
have
don't bring,
happened.
say you had forgiven, you forget it.
That's beautiful. That's
Mm,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
know, some people can make major commitments. Commitment to say, I have planted 50 years from now, I have planted forgiveness in the
Ahead.
future for you. So whatever
Happens.
offense, you already have forgiveness waiting for you at that level.
Wow.
Somebody can sit down and say, look, no matter what happens, no matter the mistake we make, divorce is never an option. Separation should not become an option. We make it work. We must be committed to ensuring that this marriage works.
That's right.
So these are some of the, then you must spend quality time with your spouse. Quality
Quality.
time you have together, you must make it. You know, spend this out and all that. Especially with, you must spend quality time together. You know, just make her your gossip partner. Make him your gossip partner. You must gist about everything, and the friendship should be there. Forget whatever anybody else making this up. So for me, the other vital ingredients are real quality time together. To everything and go with the plan all the time. Honesty, sincerity, and of course trust. I'm sure if you do that, that marriage is almost isolated from divorce.
Awesome. I don't even know if there is any question again within that circle of question to ask, because both of you have done justice to the question, to be honest. Now, I want us to look at the challenges, because with communication, trust, spending time together, having each other's back, being sincere with with our dealings, and so on and so forth. Why is it then that sometimes marriages seems to be crippled with some challenges? Even though the spirit of forgiveness is extremely important. I want us to look at what those gray areas are, the things that leads to challenges in marriage.
Yeah, one of the things, I think one of the things affecting marriages, one of the challenges in marriages, identity differences. Identity differences. A lot of people grow up in different areas of life, in different, different upbringing. And these two people coming together to stay, I mean, just living together, there's going to be this problem. You know, I am this is how I'm wired, this is how I was, this is how my mom used to do, this is how my father used to do. And trying to identify themselves in a union of two people causes a lot of problems, a lot of challenges amongst them. If they don't set communication to talk about their differences, okay, I read somebody said, okay, in my house, somebody said in my house, you know, we had house help and I don't sweep. So you wake up and tell me that because I'm married to you, I'm supposed to be sweeping in your house. And, you know, a lot of issues come from there. The man says, no, in my house, this is what happens. This is why, this is how I was raised. So identity differences, morals, values, what people hold on to high esteem may not be what I hold on to high esteem. What I do might not be very important to you because you were not wired that way. So it causes a lot of different challenges amongst these two people. And the only thing that can solve that matter is communication from day one. Talk about yourself. Talk about your fears, your dreams. So one of the challenges I see in marriage, and it's always the early marriages, identity problem. This is who I am. This is how I was raised, and they fight over this issue like they are fighting war. Okay, so
Yes.
so it's such a problem. And another thing I like about that is infidelity.
Infidelity.
The moment, yeah, the moment that sets in, it causes a lot of challenges.
That's the truth.
No more, yeah, no more trust, no more commitment in a marriage. Nobody's making more effort to work it hard because there's a level of instability in that marriage. We just go ahead, you know, to do a lot, but the fact that you have done something wrong on that aspect, a lot of challenge in our marriage. It breaks down the marriage automatically. The other opposite, you know, your spouse to look at you as one serious about what you are committed to have, and at the same time, it makes the love that you know you guys shared is dwindling, is going down. A lot of thoughts are going through people's minds, and people are not, you know, the two parties are not working together because a particular, you know, that
Because
inserted
there's a
into that
third
marriage.
party involvement through
Yes,
infidelity.
yes. So it causes a lot of you know challenges.
So true.
Financial problem. Financial problem. The thing that causes conflict in marriage. When you don't know how to manage your finances. My money and his money. We hear that a lot. My money. I want to do what I want to do with my money. And I want to do what I want to do with his money. It's my money. I'm waiting. And a lot of challenging on that matter. What portion of them of you know, finances are we putting for the children, for all sorts of other issues about finances? There is no let down rules or let down strategy on that. And because of that, there's a lot of problems. I know you hear couples say, what did you use your money to do? I'm using my money. And a lot of issues are rising because no, you're not being able to manage it properly.
Well, awesome,
I
awesome.
think, yeah, Pastor, so you have to.
Definitely, I know he has a lot to say, but
Yeah.
honestly, you've done justice to that as well. I must say, Pastor Premo, what would you add to this? I
Yeah.
mean,
Anything.
according to her, so many things here that
Yeah.
we need to look at. Infidelity and what have you.
Yeah, I think that yes, I think that first and foremost, it starts um, it starts from the beginning. How did you get into knowing this person? Especially once you put up a lie. I think that we have more
The foundation.
divorces arising from the fact that there were things that somebody was not truthful about from the beginning. So
That's right.
he or she may not have given enough information about he or herself, before the marriage, and then inside the marriage you now discover some things, and your spouse is expecting that, oh, because we are already married, you should just say slide. That one major issue that I know I've contributed to a lot of divorces. Oh, you didn't tell me you had a child. You didn't tell me you were married before. You didn't tell me that you had medical issues with your womb. You didn't tell me that you had weak erection. You didn't tell me a lot. So sometimes some people just feel, well, we won't get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Let me just keep this information. Let's have the marriage first. So those level of insincerity can account for quite a number of divorce cases. And I followed you. You talk about justice.
Okay. We don't seem to.
Every man tend to,
Okay.
yeah, and every man tend to want to. No, that's legal. Have frictions there, and once they can't manage that properly, then a lot of them want to head for divorce. And then Mrs. Edokugo, sorry if I'm not mentioning your name properly, has also talked about the issue of the world is so sex charged right now. Everywhere you turn, there is nudity, there is all manner of sexual harassment here and there and all that. And it has accounted for a lot of infidelity in marriage. And some people can't seem to just manage it and forgive and let it go. And they think that the best way is actually to opt out and divorce a marriage. But most time you discover that leaving a marriage because of that, it's like leaving, somebody said it's like leaving Nigeria to America because it rained. That it rains everywhere in the world, so it's the same thing everywhere. So if you can't manage one, because once you start divorce, you are most going to be getting into two or more other marriages and still probably end up divorce. Once you start, that's why it is very important not to just let it come in. It shouldn't be an option at all, so that, except of course, it is life-threatening. Once it's life-threatening, yes, there's little one can do. But once it's not life-threatening, I think that most time the issues are something one can manage. Once you start it, there is every tendency that there's going to be a second marriage, there's going to be a third one, because
the issue has not been dealt with.
issues
And like
you
they said,
didn't now.
character is like
Best
smoke.
most time to just handle the issues. Yeah, God bless you, man. Bless you to get that. So the same issue that caused the first divorce is still going to be there, except
It's
you
going to
deal
rear
with the
its head
issue.
up again. That's it.
Yeah, it's going to keep raising his head up. And if it goes the same way, if you take a careful study of people who have gone through 3-4 divorces and all that, or marriages, you discover it's the same thing that takes them out of the first, that will take them out of the second, and the
second.
third, and the other. You understand?
So true.
And
Yeah.
then we also have issues of not being able to plan, sit down and talk about things. Like she has said, okay, she has classified it as identity issue. Once there is an issue, the best thing is to sit down and discuss the issue.
Exactly.
Discuss the issue properly, exhaust it, and
Can I
add
ask you
what you
this
will do as the
question?
next action.
Okay, can
Yeah,
I
go
ask you
ahead.
this question, Pastor Pim? Where is the third party here? Because you see, there could be a need for husband and wife to sit down and have a frank discussion, a sit-down discussion, okay? But if there's a third party involvement that feels that the issue of that particular marriage or relationship has to be controlled. They have to dictate when you smile and when you don't smile with each other. They have to dictate on everything. Don't you think that that is a little bit overbearing for any marriage at all?
Yeah.
I like you that.
I'm talking about the issue of third party involvement.
My volume is a little bit my
You
sound is a little bit breaking. I don't
Okay,
cracky.
okay. Let me
I
repeat
don't
the
know if you can
question then. Let me try repeating the question. So I was just talking about
come
the
again.
third party involvement. Okay, where does it stop? Because I mean, husband and wife might be wanting to have a sit-down discussion to be able to possibly elaborate on some things or some issues that might be of concern to both of them. But then you have the third party
Please.
being, because we're from Africa, let's be very honest. Okay, you have
Yeah.
in-laws and outlaws. This one is breathing down. That one is dictating how everything should go. You know, don't smile too much. Sit down when you are talking. Look straight. Do this. You are an African lady. You are an African man. You know, all sorts of that. So where does this stop? Knowing fully well that we're Africans, and then of course we actually celebrate family. Okay, we love family system. The family system in Africa is very unique, but sometimes it can be very overbearing. So where do you draw the line?
For me, thank you very much, Mama. For me, if I'm very well, drawing the line is making everyone knowing. The man letting his family know that this is my home. I've seen you run your home as a family member. You have yours to run. This is mine. The woman also doing that to his family and letting them know. Once it is my family first, nobody goes to report anybody to any mama, any father-in-law or mother-in-law and all that. You should be able to discuss your issues at home, and have it trash out in your own unique way. Because every marriage has its own uniqueness.
So true.
So you won't compare what my father and my mother used to do and expecting me to do the same now. Because life has changed. A lot of things are no longer what they used to be. The society generally has changed. The world globally is changing. It's becoming a global village. The entire world becoming a global village, and things are really, really changing. A lot of things are now influencing how people relate, how people behave. So it is not going to be what it used to be. We can be twins, but our characters, when it comes to marriage, would be totally different. Our marriages will be totally different. So everyone will learn to respect that the limit, the boundaries. Let me manage my home by myself
myself.
with the way I want it to go. So let these influences from family members, let these interferences, let it be a matter of advising you outside there and you knowing that what they have said is for them. Come back home and ensure that what you plan, that's why I keep talking about discussion, the proper planning and discussion. Once you're able to handle your finances in planning your relationship with relatives, in planning everything, the project you are going to be embarking on and where you are all heading to, and as a family, if you plan all that, the kind of school your children should go, how the bills will be paid, whether you want to have joint family account or not, and all that, you must sit down and agree. Once you agree on all that and you are going by what you have agreed, then most likely, yes, there could be a little bit of adjustment there, but it shouldn't be a total deviation from what you have agreed. Even when this adjustment will come, it still has to come by agreement. I think we should adjust this side a bit. So once you have a blueprint for your family like that, the husband and wife, it will reduce to a very large extent family. But when it's as if there is no plan, there is nothing you have on the table, you don't have a direction that you are heading to, then everybody will begin to give you
Yes, you'll be having all sorts of
advice. When
people
somebody
coming
wants to
from
go and use
different,
native,
yes,
come say use this.
so
When there is another issue,
create more problem.
some say no, must have your unique way that you are running your family that is very comfortable with you and your spouse
And your
and the
spouse.
children
Okay, you must have a unique way of running your
with them.
family. Togetherness, yes, you stand. Nothing stops that. Well, in a moment, we're going to be right back and we will be saying, is divorce the answer? Back in a moment. Mama Helen and you.
Is a no. While some divorces are necessary, many marriages also be repaired if both parties agree to it. So, divorce is not like it's something you just decide to do. Wake up in the morning and said, "I want to divorce." It's something that has to go through a process. That's something that happened and happened and happened until it becomes, it got to that point to send to divorce. To me, divorce is like a pack of cards. When you put cards together and, there's nothing to weight the cards, and the very last drop of the card can tear things away, can blow up the entire pack. So, you are talking about divorce. First of all, we should already know that the moment you tie a knot with someone, or the moment you say, yes, I do to someone, have it at the back of that there will be a problem. But I think when maybe in marriage classes, the counselors don't actually tell them the truth, the challenges they're going to face in marriage. They always talk about submit to your husband, women, do this, women, when you wake up in the morning, put food on the table. And, I hear a lot of those classes when we go to marriage classes and everything. But those don't take time to tell them the challenges they face in marriage and how they can tackle it. So, trust does not start when you're married. It starts even when before you say, yes, I do, because you don't hear of what you're going into. You need someone to talk to you about what you're going into and how you're going to handle challenges faced them. So people something to marriage without understanding the whole scenario of what they need to do, or how they need to act, or what they need to make the marriage work. So they go in blindly, and the first challenges, they don't know how to tackle it before you say, oh God, it's divorce. So, and he also notes that
I think
divorce,
from what I'm getting from you, communication is key. The need to be able to see them and work things out. So don't marry blindly without talking about issues. The things you're going to face. So once you enter into marriage, just know that there will be a problem. And how am I going to tackle it? So another thing is that divorce, as I said, is a yes and no thing. The divorce and the aftermath of it is so devastating. So think of divorce as an option. Have you weighed, what you're going to face? Have you weighed the devastating, both emotionally and financial and everything? Have you weighed to even know that does it worth it? So that is you need to look at before you say I'm going to have a divorce. Now, if you say yes, it could be with a domestic violence. When there's, abuse emotionally, abuse physically, at the point that you cannot handle anymore, is a yes for me. At that point, to me, not actually, you can first of all separate. Take a step out a little bit, separate and think about it. Take away, a moment out and go back and think about your way forward. Do I have to go through a divorce? Can I make it, can I amend it? Then when it's life threatening, believe me, I don't always advise you to stay. Because your life is involved in that. Yes.
But if it's something you can work out.
Not only the two parties involved, but even the children and everyone else connected.
The children.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way. Okay, let us look at...
Exactly.
Yes. You can go on, but I'm sure Pastor Pem would like to say something concerning these as well. Pastor Payne, is
Yeah,
divorce the answer?
thank you, Mama. Divorce for me is actually should be a very, very, very last resort. If it is not life threatening, then it's a no. If it is not something that will destroy anyone, it's a no. You really can work things out. Like I said, except of course it is life threatening. If you discuss issues, most people who tend to push for divorce, think that they have this hope of a better person, a better relationship if they leave this. It usually do not end like that. Statistics have shown that far more people who divorce ended up regretting. Some says to you, if I had the knowledge I have now, 10 years ago when I divorced, I wouldn't have. If I had the kind of wisdom I have now, I wouldn't have divorced when I did 5 years ago. So they tend to live in regret. And that's most likely because it was not discussed, and then you couldn't get yourself to forgive. Yes, somebody makes a mistake. Your spouse makes a mistake. First and foremost, cover it up. Make it an affair between the two of you. Reduce the number of people who would be aware of that mistake. Then come back home and deal with it. Talk about the issue, what led to it, and see how you can prayerfully try to manage it to ensure it doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, you don't throw someone away and in the next minute you are regretting. If it is not life-threatening, I repeat,
Yes.
that's very important. Once the issue is
let
not
me ask you this question.
there's no domestic violence. Yeah.
Yes. Let me ask you, there are times people make up stories, okay? You know, I mean, people give different reasons for wanting to quit a marriage. Someone might even make up stories about, oh, it is lifetime, this one wants to kill me, you know, to take this, or that one wants to do, or, you know, all sorts of drama, you know, just to give an impression that maybe the other party, you know, has something else coming, when there isn't anything at all, to be honest. It's just a fallacy.
Mama, I think most people who does that has the hope of having someone else that they have their eyes on.
That's right.
Let me try and demonize this person so that I can divorce her
Easily move
and
on
attach to this other
somebody
person.
else. That's right.
Yes, and thinking that it will be better. You know, and most often times it is not the case. That thing you think, oh, if you think this person does not have a particular kind of quality, the next person you will be meeting will likely have that quality, but may
will be
not have
lacking in
certain
something
good
else as
qualities
well.
that
So
your
true.
eyes have.
So true.
You know, so most people who are divorced actually have regretted divorcing. We have quite a large percentage of people who are gone through divorce regretting the action of divorce. They would have been able to sort it out instead of going to a full divorce. Except like Mrs. Etukoto just said about, if it is life-threatening, domestic violence, and all manner of things that really threatens your emotional and well-being and all
Yeah.
that. If it's not that, then you can talk about it and work it out. You know,
Awesome.
instead of
Awesome. Okay.
because
So,
divorce also
sorry, man.
involves not only the family, the children, the extended family, your friends will now to
Family.
be your
Yeah.
friends need to be careful. You know, my friend does not want to be seen with my my divorced
Ex.
wife, and I don't want to see my friend with my wife who has divorced and all. So it extends to virtually every other person. It's something
Everyone
that
gets
you don't want to
affected.
go through. It's too much to
No
go
one
through. This,
tends
of
to
course,
win.
once
There is
upon a
no
time before you
win-win
got to
there.
that level, you were
So true.
yeah.
There's no
Before you got
win-win
to that
on
level,
both
you were
sides.
in love. You got married because you saw beautiful things and you were in love. Why
That's
don't
right.
you emphasize those beautiful things and let certain things go and move ahead with life.
Awesome, awesome. What are the signs that show a marriage is heading to divorce, and how do you prevent them? What are the signs that show a marriage is heading to divorce, and how do you prevent them? Let's start with Mrs. Etufudo.
Okay. Okay, Mama, thank you. You
Not
know,
at all.
yeah, there are some couples that are people, you know, but you don't know what goes behind closed doors.
So true.
People just, yeah, you see them maybe in church, see them outside the church, they fake this happiness, and you think that they are very happy. You know, there are a lot of things going on. So, one of the signs that shows that this marriage is heading to divorce is, first of all, you're going to see back home. They're going to have social distancing. As if somebody is having. No, they're going to
Silent
have a social
treatment.
distancing. Exactly. Someone's going to have my room, not our room anymore. You're going to find my room. You know, I'm staying so some, you know, they're going to this time at home. You're going to silent movement, you know, this cold kind of atmosphere.
Cold
You're going, that is those, yeah, cold
attitude.
atmosphere. And yeah, you're going to see that those things happen. And those are little sign that something is going wrong.
That's
And if at that point, two people are not responsible enough to admit that there's a problem, is heading to somewhere, is heading to divorce. Because you can't keep more, you know, keeping quiet and observing the social distancing forever. Because once you observe that, it will lead to something else.
That's true.
So one of the signs is having that distancing amongst yourself. You distance yourself from your spouse. You know, there's this closeness that you know is not there.
Okay, I think we've lost that. Perhaps Pastor
Anymore.
Pebu can.
Maybe, yeah, maybe because it might sometimes rule out some ailments, but the month you okay.
Okay. We seem to be having a little bit of challenge with your connectivity. We're no longer hearing you. Perhaps we'll try to work on that and then have Pastor Pemu step in here in the meantime.
All right. Thank you, Mama. For me, I think that when these signs pop up first, it is not a sign. It's not a major sign. It could just be one thing that happened, and especially the man, he no longer complains. He no longer complains, but everything the woman does at that level may just begin to irritate him. Probably it was a lie that was discovered, and you people, two of you didn't sit down to discuss it and end the matter, forgive and move on. You just kept quiet, you know, and then you didn't treat the issue. If you do not treat the issue, it will begin to get to a level where even when you have seen issues where a couple came for counseling, and what the issue is, the woman is saying that he complains that I press toothpaste from the middle, and he says toothpaste is supposed to be pressed from the end and
From
all
the
that.
end.
You can imagine crazy things like that.
I know.
You know, so you before it gets to that level, you know that there are fundamental issues that was left unattended to, that were not discussed
From the
and
get-go.
dealt with.
That's right.
Yes, so before the signs begin to push toward that level, and the man is no longer, nothing treats him. The favorite food is no longer his favorite food. He doesn't see anything good that you do. Everything around. If you are wise as a woman or as a spouse, if the other way around, is to call for a meeting and discuss the issues. Go with it. Oh, my sister-in-law who lives with us said so and so the other day, and that's because she had taken a clue from you. and I don't like the way she disrespected me. And you, as probably the wife, then didn't say, she did that, and call her and deal with the issue. Or you just dealt with it with the snap of a finger. So, is that why you are frowning? Is that why you are behaving cold and all that? You just take it like that. Before your spouse complained, he probably just didn't like what had happened. But if you do not handle it very well, and now discuss the matter to the level that your spouse would be satisfied that the matter is dealt with, then gradually you will just be tending towards some of the signs that will lead to divorce. You know, so most time communication in marriage, it is very vital. Communicate, discuss, keep discussing, keep talking. You know, keep talking. At the place of in the bedroom, talk. When you are alone, you just want to walk around, gist. Be alone. Create atmosphere where the two of you will be alone and have these discussions. You know, so it does not really start like a sign. What this happened? If you don't take time, no, we are not going to. It starts from something that is really, really one of the spouses could just think it is insignificant, but for the other person, it wasn't.
So true.
So the earlier you sit down and deal with that issue, the better, so that you don't end up going to get one lawyer to help you run a divorce.
Very, very, very wonderful. Very wonderful. Okay, now let's look at it. At what point should one say it's over in marriage then?
For me,
Yes.
only death-threatening issues.
Okay.
Only death-threatening issues. Mama, I'll tell you a small story. I was in a meeting where someone who had been a very senior deacon in my church, and the wife who they've been married for well over 15 years.
Okay.
The woman went on a course in our office, and before she came, somehow something led to something. And then the man had a DNA on the 3 children they have and discovered none of those children are his.
Oh my God.
You know, and and then the issue was, what does it do? He came asking for counseling. At his age now, should he go and start a relationship? The wife was not aware. He had discovered was still usually lovingly and all that. And before the wife came, he came to see us, and we thought we should deal with the matter. You know, why I told him, as painful as it is, you are going to tell yourself and uninform yourself that you never did a DNA test.
Wow.
Get the woman, you talk about it, because if you have been married for 15 years and you have not been able to give her any child, then most likely you have a problem. So if you divorce at that time and you then go get another woman, you are still going to most likely have the same issues. But we'll discuss it with her. We'll get it all sorted out and be sure where she got those children from, and be sure that we are secure against anyone coming any day to do that. As difficult as those decisions were, that were the things I decided against everyone who was saying no, and divorce her, how can she have done this and all that and all that. So when we talk about forgiveness and defining it as acting as though the incident never happened, it's difficult. But then it is something that would finally bring peace. You will just destroy your life if you think that you are going to go all out and divorce the woman, and you are going to start life all over again at over 50, and you are going to start trying to get children and sorting out your reproduction system and all that. Then you could just break down in depression and go and die.
So
But
true.
if you forgive the issue, I would discuss about it as a family in church and talk this matter over and get it buried and live life as those children are yours. You know, that's what we finally did at the end of the day. So,
it's unbelievable.
yeah, it's a hard decision to take, but it was what we finally did. And today they are together.
Wow.
You know, so divorce is not something you just do. It goes It goes beyond just the two of you. You must be selfish to just bring divorce and say, yeah, we should go on. Except there is a life-threatening issue. If I don't leave this marriage, I may end up in the coffin. I may be dead. That's the only reason we can say, yes, it's over. I want to get a divorce. For me, that's what it is.
Genuinely.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that's
what it is,
awesome.
yes.
That's awesome. Now let's look at this. What are the signs that show? Okay, I think we've answered that. Is it preferable to say it's over when there is no love in a marriage? Is it preferable to say it's over? Because you know, in the Western world, and it says, well, I love him, but I'm no longer in love.
Yes. No love.
Very funny, right? Oh my God. I love him, but I'm no longer in love. Oh, I love her, but I'm no longer in love. How does that sound to you?
So you're out of love now.
An African woman.
So they're out of love.
Yes.
You know, a lady told me, that, it's like I'm falling in love and falling. I said, no, don't fall in love. Just stand in love. It's better to stand because you keep falling.
Don't fall in love or stand in love. Oh my God, that's another one right there.
It's better to stand in love than to fall. Don't fall in it because you might just fall out. Your hand or break your head when you're falling.
Yes.
So don't fall. Anyway, and is it preferable to say it's over with love in marriage? One of the things I need to say is, how did you start? Was there a love, was there something called love when you met her? Was there love? Was there something that made you spend the rest of my life with this person? So it's not like there's no love. There's something fundamental that is wrong. Because if at a point there was love, then that's packet. There's something that is not allowed that to still love this woman. So it is for you, both of you to sit down and iron out things. As Pastor Tony said, communicate, talk about this thing. Because not just like as you said, I'm not in love anymore. What is that? How can you just not in love again?
Is it even real? Because when you love someone, no matter how much you try to suppress it, it's still there, isn't it?
Yeah.
The love is still there. Maybe some level of annoyance and all that, but once you dust it out, the love would just come back again because it's there. It never goes away, does it?
In where I'm from, they used to say that this firewood, when you put together, I have charcoal. Easy to have a fire with charcoal than to bring a fresh firewood to start, making fire in it. And if you have a firewood and the firewood has charcoal in it, it is very easy to have a spark of light in that firewood than to bring fresh firewood to try and. So no matter how water was firewood, there's still tendency that there will be a spark when there's light on that firewood.
So true. So true.
Yeah,
so true.
So if they said there's no love in marriage, then there's something that is not working out. Something is not adding up. Someone is not telling the truth. Someone is not being responsible. Yeah, not being responsible.
That's
to
right.
come together, down and iron out things. So if both parties could be responsible enough to have this condition and say, okay, look, let's go. I used to tell somebody told me some story someday. I don't love my husband, and he said, okay, I told the woman, look, just take your back, keep walking backward till maybe like the last 10 years of your life. Just keep walking. Yeah, keep walking last 10 years of your life. And where did he stop? Where did you stop loving him? At that point, what happened? You are going to realize that, yes, what were you not doing, or what was he not doing? Start from there and then back to the next 10 years of your life. You're going to find that love that you say you don't love again.
So true. So true.
So the love is not just that said there's no love in marriage. No, it is just love worked out. As we said, if it's a life that life threatening, yes.
Indeed.
But if it's love, yeah, love can be worked out. Love can be revived.
Not can be worked
There
out.
are flowers in the supermarket. Buy and give him. Buy and give her. Take her to lunch.
Oh my God.
Toast her again.
That's right. That's right. Now let me ask
Something
Pastor
new.
Pemu this. Let me ask. That was beautifully said. To be honest, find the love. Go look for it. if it was ever there. But let me say this to Pastor Pemu. Okay. I know there are certain things that can actually make someone to, I wouldn't want to say fall out of love. I think it would mean to suppress one, especially maybe if there's infidelity, maybe, a party is not being sincere, maybe a lot of things has happened and all that. Even though you are angry, but that still does not mean that you still don't love that person, right?
First, when you say you love someone, what actually made you, what did you see to make you love the person in the first place? What is responsible? Lady because she has a straight legs.
Woo.
Do you love a lady because from the first day you saw her, oh, she spoke well, she had this manner, she had this accent, and you say, wow. And what happens if she breaks the leg? What happens?
Oh my God!
So you must first and foremost get to, how did you come about loving this person?
Loving this person. What do you love? What do you love about this person?
That's
I
the
think that's what you're trying to say here.
That is the fundamental issues before you talk about, I am no longer in love with this person. Totality of a man or a woman, you love her spirit, you understand that, oh, this person is just a total person. She's a Christian, she's a sincere person, she's honest, she's industrious and all that. You put all that together, say, I just love this woman. And then you discover that hardly say I no longer love her. Except, of course, something had happened and your eye is somewhere else. You think that somebody else has a latest of some of the things you think that attracts you. You understand? So I think that I've fallen out of love. I no longer love her. It didn't really start from fading away.
If you come together,
there must be something responsible for it.
Perhaps.
Maybe you started loving for the wrong reason, and then when that reason is long gone there. For instance, rich. Man, I saw him today. He took me out. He paid for my days. He picked up my bill. He gave me a ride in his beautiful car. He had a broad chest. He had a six-pack.
And that's when you fall in love. That's
fall in love with the six-pack. You now fall in love with a good car. You now fall in love with things that are mundane. And by the time anything happens, and maybe the guy is a contractor, he got money at that period.
He hasn't contract anymore.
And by the time contracts are no longer coming, or he hasn't been paid for a long time, and you guys are going through stuff, and then you fall out of love.
You fall out of love.
So if you love for the wrong thing, you would get out of that same relationship, because that's nothing like that. But if you love because the person is just a total of what you really crave for, you hardly get to the level when you say you are getting out, you want a divorce because I no longer love her. That's crazy. And a lot of people, young people these days, they tend to see people's script that they act on TV as love. People's script written, they are not real.
Oh my God. We can just go on and on and on. We're really running out of time. Let me ask you this question.
Going to be falling out of love sooner than you expect. You know? You watch Telemundo and you watch Z-Word and you come and tell me that is what less than 2 years, they are going to be falling out of love and falling out of love.
Oh my God,
Real Z
this
world.
is unbelievable. Now let me throw this into a marriage that is heading to divorce. How do you make it work? To a marriage that is heading to divorce, how do you stop it, or how do you stop it from happening? I think that would be the best question. How do
Okay.
Can
you
I take
stop
that
it
first?
from us from
Okay,
happening?
take it, sir.
Can I take that first?
Okay, please go ahead, Pastor Penny.
All right. When the marriage is fresh, for me, I think it's better to get a father figure, a mentor that both spouses respect a lot. You know, for me, I got married and I told my wife, and in his presence, I said to him, if I am so angry, I get out of my house, walk if you are able to call my mentor and say to him, he is angry, he has gotten out of the house. And my mentor calls me and say,
Go back.
your wife through your phone. I made a commitment to make a reverse and get back home and call you and get my wife to talk to you.
That's a good
So
thing.
one of the
In other
things you
words,
can do
there
is to,
has to be someone in your life that you
yes,
have
there have to
respect
be an
for.
authority you will.
That's the truth. When you do not have anyone that you can't, submit to their instructions, then the
You
person is
must
heading
submit to
to danger.
someone as
Yes,
an authority. It's not because the person, but every man has to be under a form of authority.
that's the truth.
It saves a lot in the days of trials.
That's the truth.
You know, when the things are really bad, that man could discover, even before he told his wife, he came to me because they had made commitments that you will watch over. We are putting you over our lives and marriage.
That's right.
So whatever happens, so that level, you call that mentor and said to him, please, my husband or my wife has done this. Anybody can listen to, then that's a very dangerous level you are attained. Anything happens, the devil will sweep you off your feet. You know, so you must need that.
There has to be someone.
These are some of the things you need to play.
That's
Then
good.
you also need to ask yourself if this thing is worth it. Put the implication of divorce in one side and put the implication of staying back in the marriage in the other side and see if truly you want to go to this. Because there is no perfect being anywhere.
So true.
There is no perfect being anywhere.
So true.
Go and get the Blessed Virgin Mary. There will still be issues. If it is in the world of today, there will still be issues.
That's
You will now know that marriage is not all about being a virgin from the beginning.
so true.
There is so much more to it.
So true.
You know, so I think for me, it's first sincere, heartfelt discussion about the issues that you are facing, and then taking it further. If it is not working between the two of you, then reach out to the man that we have placed over yourself as authority to mentor you in life and all that. And I'm sure between them and you, you'll be able to work out something and see how to save your marriage.
Save the marriage. Awesome. Thank you so very much, Pastor Penu. I wouldn't know if Mrs. Etukudo have one or two things to quickly interject. There's other questions here that are, very, very important that I would still want both of you to respond to. So let's see how we can make it as brief as briefly as possible.
I won't dwell on that anymore because he just said exactly what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Call that part an accountability partner. somebody that you can be accountable to. No, so if you are just dealt with it, you know exactly what I wanted to say. So I won't deal on that anymore.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now let me ask you this question then. More relationships die from silence than violence. How can you create a truly open channel of communication with your partner?
Oh, silence in marriage can kill.
Silence treatment.
Telling you, it's like a worm.
Oh my
It's
God.
inside the heart, slowly killing, and it does a lot of. But I think a lot of things happen when people don't talk, and they keep things under the carpet. One day,
It's going to blow
the mouth you
over.
don't kill today, yeah, the mouse you don't kill today might become a dragon tomorrow.
So true.
And you kill the mouse, yeah, kill the mouse, and it becomes a dragon immediately. So instead of washing things under the carpet, you talk about it, and not just talk it. There are ways to talk about things. There are people that I know. There's somebody that I wanted to talk to my husband, and he's not listening. So I asked her, "How did you?" He said, she started yelling, talking, and saying, "I talked to him." I said, "This is the tone you used to talk to your husband. Then that's a problem." Yes, because it's not just to talk. What tone are you using to talk to him?
That's beautiful.
Time. At what time are you talking to him? Because there's some people wake up and I don't feel like talking. Have you at the right time to talk about your husband? She said, "No, I just woke up in the morning. I told him, let's talk." And he said, and he's not talking. I said, "Babe, you're getting it wrong. You're not going to have that conversation the way you are going." So how can you tackle this open conversation? First of all, choose the right time.
Choose the right time.
Yeah, choose. Do you normally talk at night before you sleep? Or do you normally wake up as early in the morning before the children wake up? What was the time you guys used to talk and feel good with each other? Choose that time to talk to him. And when you want to talk, start with the blaming case. Don't blame he or she, or don't blame him, don't blame her. Start that it is you that did this. It is. Don't do the blaming game, but come on the issue, but not to blame someone. So first of all, what do you do to choose the right time to talk about this issue? Secondly, process it. Don't talk with anger, because you're already angry and you want to resolve an issue with anger. Who does that? Okay? So you don't wake up in the morning and get angry and resolve an issue. You don't resolve an issue with anger. So you have to process your feelings. How do I feel? Am I okay to talk to this man, or am I okay to talk to this woman? So maybe the third thing you should also look at is make compromising and a resolution. What am I supposed to do? What are we going to do about this?
Yes.
Okay, so you first of all and process what you're about. Process your words. Your word is so focused. Don't talk like one person that is coming in from psychiatric hospital. Nobody will hear you. You cannot resolve issues talking like that. So one of the things I can actually say, people should do to have an open, truly communication is to use the right tools and talk to someone. People are not mad; they can hear you. So
That's
don't
very
just
good.
bombard people. Yeah, don't bombard people with words, and they can feel good. Do not have people when talking. Don't down talk another person when you solve an issue. So
That's good.
ways
That's
you
very
can
good. Now, let me
truly
ask you
communicate with
this
someone.
question. Let me ask you this question. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's
Yeah,
one
ma'am.
thing
Yes, ma'am.
to choose the place, to choose the how, and then, of course, the manner with which you pass on the information.
Yeah.
But what if you're married to a man who is very traditional, who does not think that a woman should ever open her mouth to say anything? How do you handle such a man? I would like to ask Pastor Peno first. How do you handle a man who is very traditional? You know, who believes that no matter what he does, even if he brings in a woman into the bedroom, another woman now into the bedroom, does whatever he likes with the girl, you know, goes as far as doing anything possible. As long as the wife does not say one word, then she's good.
It's good.
But the moment she says, no, try that.
Don't say that to a woman.
How do you strike communication with a man who is very traditional that does not believe a woman has the right to ever open her mouth to talk?
Thank you very much, Mama. No matter how traditional a man is, there must be somebody he respects traditionally also. If he will take you to get the king, where is the head and the custodian of his tradition, to speak to him. Wisdom, if you need to access the king through the king's wife, explain to the king's wife and say, this is what I am going through. I'm not interested. I do not want my marriage to break, but I really need to handle this aspect of my family. I don't know, my husband, because of traditions, does not think that a woman should speak. Can you get the king to talk to him, you know? And there must be somebody you respect, even at the level of a traditional man, you know? So there are people, like Madame just said, truth is, once you know how, they said the man is the head of the home, but the woman is the neck, who turns the head wherever she so desire. If you know how to manage, to talk, present your words, the Bible says, encourages us to season our words with good words, with encourages us to season our words. Once there is respect in the way you are presenting your matter, like I tell a lot of women, what men sees as love is respect.
So true.
You don't start a conversation with your husband and you say, this life, and let me tell you, in this life, you want to tell her how life be now. You know, every man, every human being needs validation. My husband, you are doing well. I just wish we can handle this area better than this. He will listen. You know, no matter whatever we want to describe of the character of any man, there are soft spots, there are areas to get access to him, you know, that he will listen. Yeah, you have talked about the timing, you are talking about the place. There must be where you communicate. There must be a center where you meet and where you talk. It really may not be, for me, it could just be that sitting out in the evening, outside, under the moon, and you want to discuss, you want to talk, it must be that fellowship where you discuss.
Okay.
You
now,
know?
a young lady,
so at that level,
and I want to ask you this question because
you are
a man. A young lady once walked up to me and said, see, my feelings doesn't matter in this marriage. It has to be the man's feeling, the way he feels. But I do not have any right to express the way I feel. How do you handle that? Because that is coming from a traditional point of view, isn't it? Where it is seen as if the woman's feeling or feelings does not count. Okay? It has to be everything about the man. You know, everything about the man. So the woman feels that she's gradually losing herself in the relationship. And so the question is, how do you have, because, see, I'm asking this question because this is Africa, okay? And you have quite a number of men who are very traditional in their thinking. And, yes, and to them, they feel that, okay, somebody should be able to, if a woman is not happy about certain things, okay, she should be able to express it. Yes, if she tries to express it in a proper way, with respect, with honor, and all that, And yet the man still feels
Mama,
you have no right
it didn't
to.
start all of a sudden. It didn't start all of a sudden. How did you meet the man? Did you meet the man high up there who had made life, who is already comfortable, and he takes you as a second wife, or first wife has gone, and he says you come in, he begins to give you rules and regulation? Did you meet as someone who oh, I saw this guy and I saw this person, there's this thing that binds us together, we became friends? But if you go ahead and marry someone who has made life, who already built a house, who already has a car, probably have some children, and he now says, oh, this happened, is either divorced or the wife is dead, and he comes in, there's already a pattern out in his home that you have agreed to come and fall and walk in that pattern. But if the two of you build from beginning, this will hardly come in. No man comes at the middle and say, I'm not a traditionalist.
Well,
Where did you start it from?
It happens. I'm sorry. I mean, let's say the woman has been very good. I mean, has something doing very well, and the man also. So they both meet somewhere. Okay, no one seems to be down financially in any way, but I think for me, basically, it could be the warning signs that were ignored, because some of these things could have happened during courtship, and those things were ignored.
Yeah.
The possibility is there, and the man might decide not to show himself until later hand, and then when he feels that everything is now okay, and then suddenly he feels, oh no. It has to take a different shape, moving forward. The question here is, what do you do to salvage such a situation? Is Mrs.
I still think
Yeah.
that there must
Okay.
be somebody
Okay,
who can
I
talk
think
to the
so.
man.
I think there are people that are so the orientation is faulty. There are people that they are wired in such a way that they feel that the woman does not have in marriage. They make this belief that you are the sole person, to make decisions, to talk and to love, and all what she does is just to be there. But I think every man has a soft spot. There's a place in a man that a woman can touch, no matter how strong you are, no matter how strong you are. There's a soft spot for every woman, or for every man rather. And and I believe that, let's not forget that we too are Christians here, and prayer also is involved. So I believe that at that point, you need to go to God. You need to pray about it. What can I do at this point? What can I do to solve this problem? Or what is this soft? And you begin to watch the man. At that point, is it a little bit to talk with him? Not because you want to talk with him as you see them superior, because already they have this mentality that a woman should not talk. So you come in this, let me even pause and say one story. One lady said she met a guy 2 weeks into the marriage. Then you should start calling him Lord.
No. No, wait a minute. Please, can you back up a little? Can you please back up a little? Can you repeat what you have just said now? Oh my God.
Into the marriage, so into it. The man demanded that she starts calling her or calling him Lord. I'm like, okay, Lord.
L-O-R-D.
Lord. After all, Sarah called Abraham Lord. I laughed. No, so she went to work and the man called him. She went to work and the man called him and she just said hello. And the man said, why are you saying hello? You should call my Lord. It was interesting to hear, but it was funny, but interesting to hear anyway. At that point, she just had to collapse everything, went back to the guy's parents and said, how did this Lord thing start? How who made him believe that
I've
he
never
should be
heard
calling
that
him
before
Lord?
in my life. That's
Yes,
strange.
it happened. It happened. So they then had to go back to the guy and they talked about this issue. They had to. He said, "Oh God, what is this Lord thing now? How about what is the Lord thing?" And he said, "No, women are like this, women are like that." Who gave you that orientation? I don't even know where he got the orientation from. But what I'm trying to say is there's a point, there's a place you can go to. Either you go or you go to the parents of the man, if he's a traditional person, a traditional person. Allow the parents to him
To
and allow
speak.
him to have really, yeah, speak with him and have a reorientation of about life. Because it's like he's being dysfunctional.
I
You
think
know, his
let me
mind
put it
is
this way.
not,
I think marriage
yeah.
is an institution you go. I mean, you embark on and have a certificate even before it starts, isn't it? So I mean, you just keep learning
Exactly.
and learning and learning. Now let's go
And
to this
learning.
question. How can you build a strong relationship like marriage? How do you build a strong marriage, for example? What can you do to spice up your home and all that? Let me ask Pastor Penu first. We still have, by the
Okay.
way, viewers, we have a lot of questions from social media platform that we'll be trying to also provide solutions to during the course of this show. Okay, so don't even touch the dial. It can only get better. Okay, so Pastor Pemu, how can you build a strong marriage? What do you do?
Yeah, thank you. For me, I think you don't have to do strong things to build a strong marriage. Little, little spices here and there. I know my wife likes surprise ice cream, surprise
Oh,
junk food sometimes.
oh, Mrs.
You
Penu,
just, as you are coming back,
you.
as you are coming back home, you stop by and buy her barbecue fish and top it with
Ah,
you just enjoy all that. You can do that, and in the next minute say, "Honey, can I have 50,000 naira there? I'll give you later." She gives it to you, far less than what you have spent to get me. You know, so it just little spices here and there. It just
yeah,
shows
that makes the
that
home
you think
strong.
about her. You
So
call
true.
Yeah.
regularly. She's aware where you are per time when you are not around. And as you are coming back, in the presence of all the children, hey, this is for mommy. Take.
It
And
makes
she
her feel
opens, even though she will
special,
give them.
doesn't it?
You just make us, those things are some of those little spices here and there.
Yeah,
They just make them the marriage just sweet, and your friendship becomes
yeah, stronger.
you bond more. Your friendship becomes more and more by the day. It's not really hard to do so much. Then
So
you
true.
begin to tell her, don't worry, as soon as this happens, I'm doing this for you. Oh, the car I'm going to buy, I just saw this car now. They said it's 150 million. I just can't wait to get that kind of money to see my wife driving it,
And
even
that
though
would
you
be
are
the
not going to do
greatest.
that.
You see, that's it. Women are
You
moved by
understand?
what they hear. You know, a woman,
I tell you,
that's the
you
reason why
just
you see a
give it to
man who
them,
does
give
not
it.
even have one penny. But
I
through
tell you,
words,
you just begin to spice it up by the things you say. And don't also forget, as soon as she's dressing, be sure to make comments, beautiful comments about her dress.
so
You
true.
don't forget that also. This
Your
is beautiful.
hairdo
Let me
is
help you comb your
nice.
hair. Let me help you. Give me the brush. Let me do it. The back is beautiful.
Oh,
And all that. Those little things
fantastic.
spice up the relationship,
Spice it
and
up,
you just
spice
see
it up.
yourself enjoying and getting your food properly served and you
And
properly
everything else.
respected also. You know,
Awesome, awesome, Pastor
like
Pem.
it doesn't really have to take too much to do that.
So true, so true.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I know
true.
one thing, I mean, Mrs. Etukudo, you started up when we were
Yes,
to
ma'am.
define the word marriage and the purpose of it, and you said something that, to be honest with you, it resonated with me. You were talking about, I think, is respecting one another, and I know that in the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 21, the
Yeah.
Bible says, "Submit to one another in the fear
Another.
of the Lord."
Yeah.
Now,
Of the Lord.
most times when you know, the issue about submission is being talked about, okay? There's this tendency to always go straight to 22. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22. Wives,
Exactly.
submit yourselves to your own
Okay.
husband. Forgetting the verse 21 of the book of
Yeah.
Ephesians. And then the 25 that says, husbands, love your
Love.
wife as Christ loved the church
As
and gave
Christ.
himself to it.
Exactly.
How can we
Exactly.
strike a balance with this? You know, because that seems to be a major challenge, okay, where you have a situation that the man is constantly calling for submission, but then treats his wife shabbily, does not think that he needs to have respect for his wife, makes his wife look like nothing before even his staff, you know, disgrace and embarrass the wife, and yet he's still screaming, submit, oh. The Bible says in Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22, wives, submit yourselves to your own
Submit.
husband. And then the woman is said, okay, I mean, is submission slavery or what?
You know,
How do we
to
balance
me,
that?
yeah, to me, you know, women already have love. Women have love already to share.
That's the truth.
And because
You're
of
very right.
that, you know, God instructed us to submit,
Yes.
not the love. Men already know how to, you know, humble, respect, you know, already, but they lack the love. So God now instructs them to love. So it's a two-way thing. First of all, the churches are not even doing us well. To be to you, Mama, you know, for all the preachings, for all the marriage classes or maybe marriage conferences
Seminars.
I've gone to, seminars, the only thing you hear is about one-sided. It's just too one-sided. You know, where wives, you have to do this. Wife, you have to dress well. You know, before your husband comes back from work, wear bikini. You know, dress up yourself, look sexy. And I'm like, one day question. If I work like I'm a banker, if I work and my husband comes back from work earlier than I did, and I'm coming back very late from work, will my husband wear a short, only like a boxers and a singlet and look sexy for me? That's the question I ask. You know, how would that look like? Because it's one-sided. How would he look for me? Will he go and be doing gym, you know, and do a lot of things and be doing sexy for me? So, you know, wives, you know, you have to do this, you have to submit to your husband. It is one-sided. So I think is that the church needs to reverse this conference needs to reverse what they are saying. When we are talking about submission, let's start from the beginning. The Bible says that, you know, didn't have anyone to talk to, so God gave and said something. Adam and Eve had an issue. Together was an issue of that apple thing and all the drama involved in it. That was an issue, first of all. And what God did was to tell them, okay, take this and send them out. Now, Abraham had also issues with his wife, Haggai and Rebecca, and his wife said, told Abraham, send out. There's always a sending out when there's issue. Send out something that is not part of that family. Send out whatever is not part of your out. So if you think that of love is going to solve the problem, what's causing you not to have that love, send that thing out. That means reduce a little of your ego and try to set that part of your wife. The ego spoils a lot of men, and they cannot see anything beautiful about the woman that is in with them. So I think to balance in this, first of all, let both of us understand the scripture, understand what God is asking us to do. He said, love your wife even as Christ the church. I'm asking, how is Christ the church? Christ is loving the church without blame, without looking at fault, without going wrong, without looking at the mistakes of the church. That is how Christ is loving the church. You saw my husband. Are you loving me that way? Are you loving, you know, despite my mistakes, despite my faults? Yeah, despite other things, you know, the things. If you love me this way, look, submission is very simple. If you need me to kneel down and worship or kneel down and give you your food. So far, I can find that little hug in the morning. So far, I can have a peg at night. Believe me, it's so very easy.
So true.
Strike the balance. To strike this balance, I think both men and women need to understand that this one is not a superior. The love you to submission is also superior to love. But both of them need hand to make marriage.
There has to be a balance. Well, fantastic. I
Yeah.
think it has been well said. It has been well. We have a lot of questions. I don't know. Pastor Kwame, do you want to say, you want to speak to that so that it doesn't look like, do you want to speak with that?
It's a woman thing.
Before we get into some questions from social media.
Mama, let's take the questions.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so straight to it. And this is from Makodi, Paul from Makodi here. And Paul says, when I met my wife, she was very slim, but now very fat. Oh, I'm not attracted to her anymore. I'm considering calling it quit. What? Oh my God. All right, okay, I'm going to start from Pastor Kwame before I say anything else. I'm going to start
Exactly.
from Pastor Kwame.
This is exactly what Pastor Tony said. What? How did you love it?
Pastor Kwame, would you want to say something? Because you're the man here. We want to hear from you first.
Yes, yeah. Let him send that away and get another slim one. And when that one becomes, send that one away also and get another slim one. And just make a lineup of slim ladies that will just be going through him. As soon as they get fat, he keeps going and going until he gets to
the one that
enter
stays slim
where he
forever.
cannot come back anymore. Yeah. That's what I was saying. If you marry someone because of size, shape, complexion, and all that, nothing lasts forever.
Nothing.
The lady we're talking about could have given birth.
So true.
Then she had belly out of childbearing, and you are sending her away because of that.
Yeah.
That you cannot manage her and get to work with her to ensure that you want this shape like that and all, and you want to send her away because of that. Then you are going to be ready to send quite a number of people away.
A lot of women will be, will be clean out to be sent away. Okay, now, I mean, such a beautiful answer, to be honest, such a beautiful answer. I wouldn't know whether this is, it's a good way of something.
No,
because if you ask me, he actually answered the question so beautifully.
Yes. We already talked about this earlier on.
Yes, I mean, coming from him as a man, I think that's beautiful. But this is not to say that we shouldn't look after ourselves, though. I mean, let us make every effort possible to stay attractive. Yeah. However, please, man, Makodi man, poor. All right? Age sets
Paul, I also want to ask you, are you the same way you were when your wife met you now? Or if you are the one who had grown fat like me, if your wife is going to leave you on that account, will you be happy?
So true, so true. Just work with your wife, okay? I mean, there are better ways of passing the information. Honey, this is becoming a little bit tight, don't you think? And then encourage her. Oh my God, you look beautiful regardless. I mean, that's what I love about you. But it will be a lot better if this one is toned a little bit, and so on. But not to think of sending her away. I do not think it's a proper thing to do. All right, Mrs. Annette Hem from London. And this is, hello, Mama Helen. It seems divorce is the only option for me because the man I married no longer exists. It's now very clear that I can no longer be married to someone who eats me and talk down on me. I have lost a sense of what made me. I had lost my innate need to own my words, my fears, and my dreams. Till death do us part has become a closer reality than I ever thought. I am really confused. Very pathetic. How do you address this, Pastor Tony?
Yeah. She needs to do a whole lot more of taking stock. Where did it start from? Where Where did you started losing yourself? Where did you started losing the man? What happened? Which issues? There's most likely going to be an issue that you didn't address, that you allowed to grow into a demon, in the words of Mrs. Etekudo. There are issues that you allow over time and you didn't address it, and he had held on to it, and it had become cake like it's made,
So
that is
true.
becoming difficult again to break. I think that to go back there, divorce is still not the option for you. There are still ways to break him down. Are there people over his life that have talked to him? Take him to those people and let him open
Counseling
up and speak out on the issues
issues.
that got him to the level where he begins to see you the way he's seeing you now. Then handle the matter once and for all. I'm sure there's still going to be a coming back, and sunshine will come again into your marriage.
Amen.
Just pray
Amen.
that it works out. Just try and look at where the issue is and try and
Is
get someone that you respect to call him, and you guys talk,
talk
open
about it.
up, speak
That's
out,
right.
and then handle the issues. I'm sure you still have that loving man back at again.
Amen. Amen. Okay, Mrs.
She should
Etikudo.
also,
Yes.
yeah, she should also be careful so she will not enter into a mental problem. Sometimes when she's that emotional, and it might get in mind, and she begins to look down on herself that she's not worthy, and it can result to a lot of issues, which results to illnesses or diabetes, cancer, and stuff. So she should be careful not to allow that transition, to affect her mental health and all that. So, but
She
she should,
should know.
as he said, yeah, said she should look for someone that,
Yes.
she can talk to, that the man also listens to. And that has to
Exactly.
be a balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think rightly said from both of you, truly. And mine is to just say, look for a professional counselor, a married counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't quit now. It's too early to do so.
Yeah.
I
So,
think there's a disconnect somewhere, and all it takes is for someone to be able to hear from your angle and from his side as well,
yeah.
and somehow navigate both of you to
Yeah.
resolving whatever
Sure.
those issues might be. Please don't
Sure.
drop the towel.
Yeah.
And now the aspect that I also want to, just like what she said, because I think you're beginning to internalize what is going on around you, and I don't like that with women. When I see women, pressure comes in life, whether from marriage or from business, from job, from whatever it is, but never internalize it. Okay? Never, we are human beings, definitely. There are times we get aggrieved or pained by someone's behavior or by business that's gone wrong or by one thing or the other. But the best thing I always say is, okay, please find a way to detach yourself from whatever it is, so that it does not result to a mental issue, just like it was rightly said by Mrs. Etikudo. All right? Please, no man has the power to make you feel small unless you let them.
Exactly.
No human being on earth,
Exactly.
okay, has the power to make you feel small unless you let them. So you're not small, you're who
I
you
would
are.
also
Still.
like to
Okay,
add
look
here,
inward
Mama.
and
I like to
encourage
also,
yourself.
yeah,
Yes,
I
please.
also want to add here that if she divorced, she may not really recover from what she had gone through.
That's the
So the
truth.
best bet would actually be to manage the situation
To manage the
instead
situation,
of running a divorce. A divorce
running
will not
away.
bring a solution to all that she had said. It could even further take her down the line of depression. So she should, like we have said, try to find a solution. She shouldn't just give her emotional keys to her happiness and all that, and just say she's going through all this and allow it to affect her and make her feel the way she's feeling right now.
So
You
true.
stand up, tell herself good things. She's good.
You're
She's
good enough.
beautiful.
You're
She's
beautiful enough.
intelligent.
You're intelligent
Yeah,
enough. You're
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
smart enough,
intelligent.
baby. And nothing should ever change
Mm,
that.
that's smart
Awesome.
enough. You're
Awesome.
intelligent.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
true. Okay, now, this is from Monday from Worry. I've been dating her for about a year now. I have the intention of marrying her, but I do not seem to go well with her character. She does not know how to cook and spends money extravagantly. But she keeps telling me that she loves me too, but wants to enjoy herself, see life well before settling down with me. Ma, I don't think I can wait for that. But my love for her is killing me. What should I do? Oh, what should I
Now,
do?
Pastor Tony says right to talk about it
Well, it's a young
before
man
I say
dating a young
something.
Somebody,
lady. Okay, she, according
somebody,
to him,
somebody
no
came to
character.
me.
Yes, she
Somebody
doesn't know
came
how
to
to
me and said
cook,
that.
and she
Somebody
spends.
came to
She's
me
not
and said he
frugal with
loves a
money.
lady. Somebody came to me and said he loves a lady that because of the lady, they went to a particular church. I don't want to mention the name. And the church then asked them to make vows of how much they will pay for a particular program. And the guy, who is the teacher, a classroom teacher, said he vowed for 2,000 naira. And then the lady, of course, did 20,000 naira. And then by the time the lady came visiting, she just asked, how much did you vow in that program? He said, okay, I told them I'll give them 2,000. And the lady said, what? You better go back there and make it above 20,000 or this relationship is over. And came to me and said, what did you do? I said she should go and make it 50,000 and keep her relationship,
To
with
continue.
relationship. How much is your salary? He said it was 35,000. And now, no, go back and make it 50 and keep your relationship. That's what I'm going to tell this man also.
Yeah,
Stay and then let uh, your love
it's up
for
to
the
you.
slim girl, the fair girl, the light skinned girl, the properly made up girl, allow her to go and marry her and be faced with the implications later.
That's it. Such a such an answer. I think that was powerful. Such an answer.
Yes.
That yes, Mrs. Etukudu, I can tell you're warming up to say some things. You say you love her, that you love you her for her. He's killing you. So maybe you can make the extra effort by trying to help her with the cooking aspects.
Yeah.
However, the her being extravagant is a big challenge right there. So I think there's a need for both of you to sit down and say, honey, you know what I earn. You know my salary. Can you build with me? I do not want a situation where tomorrow you expect me to spend, I'm earning 20,000 and you expect me to put the 20,000 on ice cream every day. I'm going to steal. Is that what you want? That has to be a frank discussion towards that end.
Yeah.
Okay, I want the
Mama,
house
if
to,
I may come in here,
yes,
if I
please.
may come here a bit, the point for me in that question is he also said that the lady said she is not ready now. She wants to enjoy her life before she settles down.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's why
that's
I said you
another
should
thing.
wait
Yes, we
for
weren't
her.
looking at that before. That's true.
Oh, okay,
So
Yes,
she's I
that's
think she's
you
true.
just
wait
enjoying
for
herself.
her and
Yeah.
She,
yes,
she's just
keep
enjoying
spending all the
herself
money
here.
and wait for her.
Yeah, she's just enjoying herself. Let's move on. Sweetheart, I think it's better to sign off. Okay, all right. Now, there's another answer. There's another question here. Jessica, caller from Kano. And Jessica says, Ma, I was only 15 years old when I got married to him because he impregnated me. I'm 23 years old now with 2 children for him. I now realize he is not my type. Yeah? I want to further my education and develop myself, but he is against it because he did not go to school. He is 50 years old and he treats me like nobody. I'm tired of this man. What should I do? Oh dear. Oh dear. There are issues here, definitely. But how best can we handle this?
A lot of issues. A lot of issues.
Okay. Pastor Penu?
Jessica,
All right.
yes. Jessica, my advice for you is to make the best of your situation right now. It's not your type of person. You must find a way to make it, to pursue your dream and still remain in the marriage. If you need to get people to talk to him, fine. If you need to do a lot of talking, if you need to appeal, if you need to do stuff, if you need to do online self-development, you have to improve yourself. And when he sees that you are doing well in what, I'm sure he will be able to support you much later. But of course, you don't expect a man who didn't go to school to understand any reason why you want to go to school. So you must do a lot of self-development to improve on yourself and remain in the marriage. You had made mistake. You 8 years later is when you realize that he is not your kind of person. You can
It's too late.
also make him become a king later once you are up there. You try to see if he sees the benefit of education, maybe also knows that he has the opportunity of doing adult classes and doing online courses, he will be able to also grab it later. So I advise that you start by doing self-development, especially online, because he won't let you go right now. Do some online
That's
courses
wisdom
and
there.
see
That's
how
wisdom
to
there.
improve yourself. When he sees some of the things you have been able to achieve by doing that, I'm sure he'll be able to come around.
Awesome, awesome. I think that's a perfect answer right there. Let's leave it and move on
Yeah,
to something
good.
else. Yes.
Yeah.
Osi from Enugu. Osi from Enugu. I'm a sailor. Sometimes I travel for 4 to 6 months. I've been hearing rumors of my wife cheating on me, but I never believed any of them because I loved and trust because I love and trust my wife so much. On this fateful day, I came back from travel without informing her, only to see her with my driver on our matrimonial bed. Oh, Jehovah. I love my wife, but I just can't take it anymore. I'm considering calling it over between us. Jehovah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have Pastor Kwenu answer this because he has a generous heart. Let's hear what he has to say concerning it.
Yes, I would still advise you. She had made a mistake. Don't kill her for this mistake she has made. We can recover her. You are usually away for too far too long. You also may not have been able to keep the communication well enough, like making video calls all the time and trying to keep it up. 6 months is a long time to leave a woman unattended to, and if she fell, it's not enough for you to just end it all. Because you love her, I think we'll be able to do forgive and let her see reasons. I'm sure any woman who goes through that and she's forgiven will never attempt it again because she knows. I tell you a story of a young man who came back home one day and met his wife in his matrimonial bed with another man and didn't say anything. He just walked out, strolled away, came back in a while where they had cleaned up, the guy had gone. He came in and asked her to go get me my food. She ate. After eating, took his bath and went to lie down. Didn't talk about it. By the next morning, dressed up, did the normal thing, ate his breakfast prepared by his wife, and went to work. By evening, when he came back, the woman was gone. He went to her parents' place. He went there to fetch her, and why are you here? Come, let's go back home. And she said, "No, I'm not going back home." Why? I'm not going back with home. The mother was saying, "Why don't you go with your husband?" Because she didn't say anything and all that. At the end of the day, he said, "Okay, let the man go." Grandmother said, I'll bring her over later. Please go out." Because later she told them what happened, and they were saying, "Let's go and try and discuss this issue." They didn't discuss it, and she said she feels that the man will kill him. For seeing her are not talking about it.
We're not saying
I'm
anything.
sure if they have discussed it and they ended it by forgiving, and then the whole matter goes. So I think that if you still love her, and not if you still love her, you still need to forgive her because you had allowed her for too long unattended to. And that's where the devil came in. You try to find some reason to blame yourself too and let her go. Forgive and relate like it never happened and love your wife again.
That's a very very
That's
powerful
true.
tone of forgiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no room
Ah,
for whether a man or woman to ever contemplate or to ever contemplate the habit of cheating. But nevertheless, just like what we have heard from Pastor Pemu, it says there's room for forgiveness. I will join him to say, please forgive her. If she's really genuinely
yeah.
serious about it, forgive her and give her another chance. And then see how you can then see, all right, the time for each other, make up time, okay? Like he said, you can't travel for years and then stroll back You know, it does, you know, she's a human being. So see
Who does
how you
that?
can make sure there is enough time for both of you. It's very, very important. Okay? Right. I don't know whether Mrs. Etkudo would have something to say about
Yeah,
our
I just want to go in what Pastor Tony said, but let the man first find out from the beginning, was she that promiscuous? Was she a promiscuous fellow, or did something just happen? If she won't just wake up one morning and begin to, do all that, something must have happened along. Or maybe, as you said, maybe that, that distance, that long time. But even if it's a long time, if someone is not promiscuous, it's not very possible for you to do that have happened. And so you need to find out what happened. And then you take it up from there and probably and then forgive and move on into marriage.
Okay, I think that settles it. Forgiveness is golden, they say. Temi
Yeah.
from Delta State. I've been married for 5 years without a child. My mother-in-law brought a lady for my husband who claims she's pregnant for him. Hey, hey, Africa. My mother-in-law and the lady
Africa.
do all sort of things to make me angry and uncomfortable. My husband seems to be quiet about the whole issue. I don't feel safe anymore staying in the house. Will it be okay if I call it quit?
That
That's
calling it quick is not an option.
not.
Calling it quit is not an option. For me, you didn't divulge to us if you people have any medical issues. You have seen a gynecologist, and they have tried both of you fruitful or safe to have children. Now, there's this thing that's always happening. Once there's a marriage and the man has not gotten child for over a few years, there's this thing ladies usually do, wants to use that. Oh, I'm pregnant for him. Most often, it is not the child of that man.
That's the truth.
Of course,
I was going
they
to say
need to
that.
do a DNA. You have to be patient
Yeah.
for the child to be delivered, and a DNA test conducted to be sure of the paternity of the
Splendid.
child. Because
Splendid.
most time, once you just see that a couple are struggling with having children, you see girls trying to scheme, especially when the man is financially stable. They want to try and see how they can come in
They can
and
come in.
take over the home. So most time,
Exactly.
all they do is try and get fake pregnancy, bring pregnancy from other places to try. But usually these children do not last. Thank God today we have DNA test easily done around. We can go and do that. So she should be patient and let the child comfort. Then ask for a DNA test, and then let's take it from there. So for now, do not call it quit. Manage the situation, be prayerful, and talk to your husband most times. Let him try and make it easier for you. You are going through a tough time already. He should encourage you to let it go easier for you, and then wait until the baby comes and you go run a test. I am most certain that that child will not be your husband's own. Then you people have to really go see a gynecologist and see how to work out your salvation with fear and trembling in trying to give birth. Thank you.
It is what's worrying me in that situation is that she said the husband is not saying anything about it.
It's very sad,
But
isn't it?
yeah,
He's enjoying
sad.
it.
Exactly. So I would wish that she would, have someone to talk to, maybe since the mother-in-law is the one, doing this, she should have someone to talk to. And maybe probably the husband can talk to also. Then they can, have a balance that both of them can talk and ionize this issue. Am I stay? Yeah, you marry the is this your child? There should be some form of communication to give succor, some balance for us to be able to have that strength to stay and for the child to be born. Because it's so sad for your husband not to say this at issue, and it's not normal way. what I would advise her is to find someone that talk to the husband. So let the husband explain to her what happened. The husband never did anything, didn't sleep with the other girl or something. How would he say that this child is yours? So something must have transferred this people. It might not be the man's child, but something must have transferred between both of them. So find someone to talk to, and then from there.
Something must have transpired. Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah.
now, in all honesty, you're quite right. That's a very strong word there. The aspect that I'm even very concerned with is in bringing this lady into the home. Okay, I think, that in itself is very wrong. All right, the shock of this man impregnating,
Yeah.
so to say, hypothetically, is
Yeah.
one thing. Then bringing the girl to come and stay with her in a matrimonial home, I think it's a big slap right
It's
there.
sad.
I mean, it should mean that, okay, fine, this has happened. All right, let's get a place. She can even go and stay with the mother-in-law. Okay, let her have the child, and then when everything is determined, then we know what to do going forward.
do.
But not bringing the child in. So it is my prayer that God will touch the heart of this man, and and he will be able to do the right thing. But in the meantime, please don't give up. Go back. Please don't give up. Okay. Don't give up. Again, I'm saying it. Don't give up. Just like what we've heard already. Don't you give up. Help is on the way. God is going to give you your own child. Okay? Don't allow a strange woman kick you out of your husband's house. Okay? Don't allow that. Stay on. And evidently, God will make a way for you. And then, of course, the other aspect to this is I do not know whether you are church goers or something, then it will mean to invite your pastors into a matter like this. If you're a Muslim, is to bring in your imam into this. If you're out of any of the two, then it's to bring in someone else in the family that is respected, that can speak into this situation, okay? Instead of just letting it be like that and allow the man have a field day, because of course they're already making a caricature of you, and you don't want that to continue. For your mental state, it's very, very important. But don't go anywhere. Stay. Don't go anywhere. The whole idea of the drama you are seeing is to see how you get tired or fed up with the whole thing and just say, well, I'm calling it quits. Don't call it quits. They should be the one to get themselves together. Okay?
Exactly.
It is well. It is well. Now, there is this thing I really want to read out, and it's on my Instagram. I went over it yesterday, and I'm so glad I have it open. My people here have been so fantastic. They make sure, because my phone actually went dead at some point. Okay, so let me read it out to you. I'm very down to earth. That's who I am. Okay, this is coming from Asa Enko Lizzie. I think it's a foreign name. It says, living with a narcissist is disorienting because they distort reality to fit their agenda. I'm in a constant state of disarray, never knowing which version of my husband is going to walk in the door at the end of the day. I never feel safe to simply be me. One of the reasons why I am so confused right now is because I thought I had married the perfect man. It was everything I have ever wanted in a man, and in the beginning presented himself as my biggest fan and supporter. He was charming, loving, passionate, and attentive to my every need, both emotional and physical, until he wasn't. Until a side of him popped up every so often that threw me off balance. He started to cheat. He was so protective of his phone. Yesterday, I got in contact with a hacker here who helped clone his phone, and that gave me access to his text messages and social media without touching his phone. I wanted to be sure if my suspicion was right or wrong. I still can't believe what I saw today. He is cheating with several women. I have made up my mind not to be with him anymore because this is the height of it all. I'm sure so many women are in a similar situation, and you deserve to know if you are being cheated on. Here is the private investigator, blah, 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 you know, and it went on like that. What would you have to say? I want both of you to comment to this. Marrying a narcissist, a narcissist is an individual, okay, who likes twisting, you know, stories, okay, would call blue black. It is blue, but we'll say it is black anyway. How do you deal with a man like this, with this kind of mental state?
You are going to call out with my phone.
Okay. Is Pastor Pedro trying to say something concerning that? Oh my God, you went sideways now. Okay, let's look at Mrs. Etukudo. Can you hear?
Believe me, yeah, I can hear you well, ma.
Okay, please go ahead.
It is, as in fact, I was just, you know, listening to you, and I'm trying to figure out how life
Must have
kind
been.
of person. Yeah, figure it out, because you know these people, no matter how you want to say that the black is black, they must have reasons to tell you, to back up why they say that that black is blue. They have a lot of reasons, a lot of evidence to show to you, and it's very difficult to live with those kind of people. That's number one.
That's
And
true.
not just that he is that kind of person, and he's also cheating with other women. It is sad, you know, to know people are going through those kind of issues. But that's something I heard, you know, somebody said, and I just wanted to, you know, I tend to believe. At some point in life like that, I'm not divorce, but you can do like separation. Let's, you know, not separation as a let's just leave the marriage. No. And let me go and think about my life first. Let me just think what to do with my life. You can't keep staying there and pushing yourself, and at the end of the day, you're not getting out of anything, getting anything out of the marriage. Point. Can we just stay apart for a while and think of what to do about this marriage? You know, like I said, I told the lady, just walk backward. Sometimes I used to do things in my house when I forget to go and drink water and I want to pick up something from the house. I'm reaching that place. I just forget, oh, what was I here for? Believe me, I eventually, as in intentionally, walk backward to where I came from. I do that. I remember exactly what I wanted to go and do, as in I do it myself. So if I want to pick up a pen and I'm in my room, I just forget that, oh, I want to pick a pen. What was I supposed to do? I'll have to go back to where I started from. Then I now walk back. Remember? So I want to just say, why don't you just stay a little way apart and think of what to do? Because you're involved here. The guy is not even repenting from what he's doing. When you do that, why don't you communicate? Try to see how you can, to, as you said, a professional counselor. And go to that counselor, have an appointment. Both of you come from different places. Because if you keep staying together, there's going to be a lot of issues always coming up. So for your sanity to stay apart, then go for this. When you can resolve the issues and forgive each other and talk about it, then you can back and become what you wanted to be, husband and wife, if you so want to become. But the fact is, you can't stay there, you know, and be sane of things that are going through your mind. So instead of you behaving, you know, just heading the place, why don't you just talk about, can we go and maybe a professional counselor and talk about this? Because it can get you, you know, to go crazy.
Yes, especially when, you know, I mean, you know, in us, the thing that is very, very peculiar with a narcissist is the fact that he is very, very self-involving. He only thinks about himself, you know, herself. And then what makes it even more terrible is that when he tells you that what you're saying, even though it is true, is not. So before you know, you start doubting yourself, whether there is reality to what you are even talking about.
Yeah.
That is the work of you know, of someone who has that tendency. So what do you have to say concerning this, Pastor Penmo? How do you
I
advise
think I
this young
want,
lady, with
yeah, I think
such
I want
a
to go with,
situation? Yes.
I think I want to go with Mrs. Etukudo.
Okay.
She should get a break for a while to reevaluate the whole thing and see if the husband is going to miss her. But I must also say at this point that she shouldn't have cloned his number because, of course, you already know that you are going to see some things that will not be pleasing. They will just end up making you feel worse than you were already
Worse.
feeling. Now you have seen information that you shouldn't have, and it's you that is hitting that the those informations are hurting more. So you shouldn't have done that. But having done that and gotten to this point, I think what she needs right now is a little break, reevaluate herself, try to see how, if the man will miss her a bit, then try and see how we can invite, they go to a neutral place and talk. I've been doing all this, I'm aware, are tired of the things that they are doing, then discuss the things and try and also, if he's genuinely feeling remorseful, forgive and live on. But I think for now, she really needs to get a break out of this whole thing and go and do some level of reevaluation and think on how best,
On our best.
who and how to manage the
Manage
issues.
situation. Okay. Well, honestly, it's a very dicey situation. Quite a number
Yeah.
of men
Yeah, it
are,
is.
quite a number of
Yeah.
men are, unfortunately, all right. But like you have been told by our two counselors, see how you can seek help. Ask for help from someone who is trained in terms of, mental management in relationships, so that they will be able to provide solutions to this. A narcissist is an individual that has a very complex situation, a
Yeah.
condition and behavior that sometimes is very, very difficult to handle. You can see, this minute he's promoting you and the next minute he's tearing you down. The next minute he's telling you are nothing. The next minute he's trying to kick you out of his life. The next minute he's cheating on you. And the next minute he's putting everything on you and saying you are the one responsible. It's a turn in itself. Seek for help, okay? Don't give up. Obviously, you have not left your marriage yet. You're still in it, from what we can denote from what you sent over for me to look at. But nevertheless, don't give up. The aspect of separation, that's your decision, to be honest. That's your decision. But the most important thing is for you to seek for help and rightly do so. Okay, I always say to women, all right, stop looking for what you don't want to see. Pastor Pedro just said that a while ago. Stop looking for. Okay, your husband's phone is ringing, and the next minute
Yeah.
you know, you are going to see what you want to see, right? And what you're not going to like. All right, so you better just leave that phone alone. Live your life and be happy. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice.
That's
The
true.
moment you see a man passwording, doing whatever,
Everything.
doing one thing or the other, to secure his phone, just know that he has something to hide. Okay? Likewise, women as well. All right? But what I always say is, even if the man, didn't even do anything with his phone, don't be quick at picking your husband's phone, okay? Please. All right? Give yourself some level of rest and happiness. Okay. So going forward, I think she became an
true.
investigator, to be honest, because she wanted to get to the integrity of it. Let's know what is happening here. What is this man up to? You already know what the answer is. You just needed confirmation, isn't it?
Yeah,
And that has not
exactly.
helped at
Yeah.
all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It has been a wonderful time, I must say. It has been so rich. And I want to believe that someone out there must have been guarded by some of the things discussed today, in order for you to be able to come out with a decision making regarding quitting or not. But like you've heard from our counselors, they're all saying the same thing in a way. still be forgiven, see how you can work things out, communication, many things they mentioned, okay? And so before we draw the curtain, I just want them to say, maybe just 1 or 2 seconds, for them to say what is on their mind. Someone is at the verge of quitting right now. What are you going to say to that man or that woman? Let us start with Mrs. Etukudo. What would you say?
Okay, to whoever is, this pattern of, I believe that there's always a light, at the end of the tunnel. No matter how dark it is, at the end of the tunnel, there's always light. As you said, please don't just give up immediately. Don't give up. Don't just say, I'm done. There's a room for you to talk about things. Even if the man does not want to listen to you, please find an attentive partner. Find someone that he listens to and make sure you talk with the person. There's always a light. Don't give up. That's what I want to say.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up. That actually comes from Mrs. Etukudo today. What are we going to say here, Pastor Tony Bemu? What would you have to say here? What are you going to say there? Pastor Tony Bemu, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Oh my God, I would love to hear what he has to say. Can you hear us, Pastor Tony Bemu? Oh my God, it's like we've lost him. Okay, well, it has been said by both of them, one way or the other. But let me start by appreciating them. They have taken out time to be with us today, and we've really enjoyed them. You were so, both of you have been so wonderful, very down to earth, and we love the way you have responded, or you have been guarded, by all the questions and that you have tried providing solutions to today. May the Lord continue to keep yours as well and bless you. And yes, we'd like to have more of you. Definitely, we would like to have more of you. Very informational and educational as well. Thank you so very much indeed for joining us today on Mama Helen and you. Amen. And to all our viewers out there, we are simply saying, before you draw the curtain, before you say it's over, have a rethink. A marriage of 1 year is not like a relationship of 1 day. Okay? You have invested time, you have invested life, you have invested, your emotions, you have invested many things, including money sometimes. You have invested yourself, you have invested your life. A 1 year out of your life can never be added again. So something has given in that relationship. Have a rethink before you call it quit. Okay? We have been advised by our counselors today on the need for us to approach communication. Even when there is war in a community or between nations, it is still settled with both parties sitting down and working things out. Okay, let us see how you can douse down on the third party involvement, because as long as you continue to allow them to come in, then it will be very difficult for you to be able to navigate out of whatever difficulty or challenges that marriage is faced with. Okay, and of course we've been told that it's golden to be forgiven. You have to think about forgiving, putting the past behind you, and forging ahead in your relationship. Because even the side chick or the side whatever that you are thinking will be better, by the time you get in, you discover that is not as what you think it is. Because, there's this kind of sweetness in cheating. When you are cheating, you have that kind of, sweetness. But by the time that woman comes in, or maybe when you marry that man, that is when you now discover that it is not as beautiful as it seemed. The devil, they say, that is in hand, that is known, is better than the angel that is known. That is what it is said. See how you can sit and work things out. And to you, that lady that is married to a narcissist, okay, don't give up. see how you can seek for counseling. No matter what, be on your knees, talk to God, okay? And if you're out there, you're doing your best to destroy one in order to bring another in. A time would come as well. You know, there's this adage that says, the cane that you used in caning the first wife is waiting, okay, for the second wife. It's only a matter of time. So it is better to work it out now and make it right for both of you. I wish you well. Forgive one another. Communicate. Remember the vows you both exchange at some point in life, and then embrace that in totality, so that at the end of the day, your homes shall be peace, can experience peace and tranquility. And now, excuse me, please, I also want to protest this point. Remember that it takes two for anything in life. That commitment that we've been told from our counselors today, let it come back to that home. Build back trust. Yes, you can. You can build it back. You still love each other. It's just that it's gone silent. You can wake it back again. Put the devil to shame and see how you can walk yourself back to a proper and wholesome relationship. We wish you well. I'm not going to draw this curtain without hearing from Pastor Peno, Tony Peno, because I can see that he's back on. I just want him to be able to have his 1 second or two, regarding his own counseling aspect today. Okay, as we draw the curtain.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to advise everyone. There's nothing like any easy marriage anywhere. No relationship is easy. Like I just said, once it is a side chick, once you are doing it in hiding, it seems interesting until the person comes in. Then you see the true character of the person. And sometimes, most often times, it leads to regret. And for men, there's actually nothing out there other than spending more money and getting all for nothing. Most times it ends in regret. Some of the resources we used to do a lot of this nonsense, we could put them into good use, invest them, and be better for us. Family is everything. Build it, be committed, forgive, and just ensure that you play a major part in making your marriage work. Because I think that most men are the more affected when it comes to issue of divorce. Honestly, they are the ones who are more affected when it comes to the issue of divorce. So please, I want to encourage men that are out there. Please, let's all try and make the marriage work. The devil is marriage institution. Let's not allow it. Let's allow God to reign. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank Mama Helen for having me.
Okay, now you can see the reason why I said you have to come in and say something. Every time we have you on, it has always been wow. Thank you again. We are grateful, and I'm so grateful to God that we were able to bring you back. Again, Mrs. Etikudo, that was wow. Thank you. And then, of course, to Pastor Tony. Thank you again for being with us, Mama Helen, and you. Perfection exists only in movies. Disagreements happen. Unless you are embroiled in severe problems, don't throw away a relationship because you've hit a rough path. Trust and commitment depend as you travel through storms together, or deepens rather, as you travel through storms together. Don't forget, it's not over until it is over. A crisis doesn't mean the marriage is over. A crisis can be a new beginning. It's out of pain that great people and marriages are produced. Stay strong, be well, and hold each other till eternity. Because together, you win. But never forget that when Jesus is the one that is in the third party of that marriage will work. Outsiders are outsiders. Keep them at bay. Make your home work and let it work for you. Forgive one another and forge ahead. At the end of the day, it will become a testimony for her to see. So this is in every couple out there, a blissful marriage wherever you're watching around the world. And if you are still just warming up to getting into one, we pray that you, from some of the things you've heard today, you will have been able to glean from it and tailor your life in such a way that you'll be well guarded in your decision making as well. We love you. We wish you well. Oh, Mama Helen and you. Never stop watching Mama Helen and you. And may I also throwing into you that, okay, you can actually subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? It's I believe Mama Helen Orishejafo, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be on the screen, but I think it's Mama Helen Orishejafo, my YouTube page, right? Okay, my Instagram is Helen_Orishejafo, and my Facebook page, for my Facebook, the new Facebook page, I will call it, is Mama Dr. Helen Orishejafo. Be part of the train that is moving. Subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to tell everyone else as well out there about what is going on. And then we also have Command the Day every day from Monday, I beg your pardon, till Friday at 6 a.m. UTC +1. You want to join us and battle the devil. Put Satan where he belongs, okay? It's very, very important. And seize the day to work in your benefit and in your favor. We love you. We wish you well. Thanking every technical crew here today. Thank you for making yourselves available. We love you. You're the best thing there is. And then, of course, to everyone, wherever you're watching around the world, we love you. God bless your heart. In Jesus' name. Mwah! Bye-bye.